When we hear, "A man had 2 sons," don't we stop listening? Instead we think, "Oh yeah, the prodigal son." We think about the son. However, the parable is not about a prodigal son. It's about a prodigal father. The first thing he does is to give away 1/3 of his possessions, the share that would eventually be inherited by the younger of 2 sons. Right from the start of the story, then, the one who is extremely generous, perhaps to the point of wastefulness, the definition of prodigal, is not the son, but the father. The next thing that happens is that the son leaves home and wastes his fortune. Or is it? It's time to ask when the forgiving happens in this story. Can it be when the son faces facts? No, it cannot be then, because no one at home can hear him coming to his senses. Can it be when he turns and begins his journey home? No, it cannot be then, because he's too far off for the father to know. Can it be when he falls at his father's feet? No, it is not then, because the father does not let him finish his confession. So, when is the son forgiven? The gospel tells us that the father saw his son while he was still far off. The reason is clear. The father was standing outside, looking into the distance for his son's return. In other words, when the son walked out the door, his father went out too. He stood there, waiting for his son to come to his senses and return. The father forgave the son's sin as soon as it was committed. All that remained was for the son to come home and accept forgiveness. So, what follows the son's receiving his portion is not his departure, but the stepping outside of father and son. That is the point of Jesus' parable. The Father, of course, is God, God whose love is so prodigal that no matter what foolishness I commit, forgiveness is there from the start. Jesus is saying that all I need to do is come to my senses, turn around, and accept the gift God always offers. The Pharisees and scribes did not like that. They saw Jesus welcome sinners and eat with them. Eating with them was especially offensive. One description of the reign of God is of a banquet for all God's people. There might perhaps be space at the feast for sinners, but that would depend upon repentance and forgiveness at the coming of the Messiah. By welcoming sinners to the table already, Jesus was claiming that God's reign had begun and that he himself was the host at the banquet. No wonder the Pharisees and religious teachers acted like the elder brother in the parable. They weren't merely jealous of the folks with whom Jesus ate. They felt that the whole meal was premature and presumptuous. But Jesus was telling them by what he did and the story he told that God does not wait to forgive us. We're not doomed to remain in our sin until some special time. We don't have to start being good. All we have to be is loved by God. And that is always, whether we know it or not, or whether we accept it or not, or whether some like it or not. Lent is a time for me to come to my senses and return to my Father. I do not need fancy words. I do not need to buy forgiveness with good deeds or intentions. All I need is to say, "Father, I have flunked." Then we go out to share the good news that God is waiting for the whole world to come to its senses, waiting to embrace it with the love that is always there for it.